Right, what's good, everybody? I hope you guys managed to take a trade from yesterday because that was an absolute banger. I may have missed the first entry directly on the news because I was having dinner, but I did manage to call the second entry on X. And shout out to Crypto Hustler. He managed to pass a funding challenge on the trade from yesterday. So congratulations, man. If you're watching this, much love. And I always appreciate you always like engaging with all of the X posts. Just know that I see you and super happy for you. Of course, Jibba on a 5-winning streak with the system. Now, all of this is called the X, but I'm just honestly just really happy to see you guys learning the system and being able to execute this yourself. Honestly, I'm just super happy and grateful to see that, a lot of you have managed to, really internalize the system by yourself. And like, you no longer need me to post something on X just so you can take a trade. It's like a lot of you are already executing this by yourself. And of course, if you guys would like to live trade alongside with me, I'm running a free event on April 1st and 2nd, where we're going to be live trading together for a couple of days. If you haven't signed up already, feel free to click the first link in the description box below. And if you don't want to wait until April 1st and 2nd, and if you would like to live trade alongside with me now for the next 30 days, click the second link in the description box below. Because we started a funding challenge on Monday and we're already like about one trade away from passing it. And all of these trades are being called into VIP at the moment. But otherwise, I'm starting this video today to talk about Bitcoin, so it's time to get into Bitcoin and waste no more time on the introductions. So to kick things off, so far in terms of the overall just kind of like market structure, we are still bullish, yes, but because we have a bearish daily bias at the moment, we're going to be looking for a short as far as today is concerned. And just keep in mind that the short that we're taking is still like, it's not the end of the world, right? It's just keep in mind that even though in the grand scheme of things, we are bullish, and this is likely just going to be a retracement before some sort of higher move. Fact remains that we are trading an intraday system, which means that we're in and out of a trade literally within a couple of hours. So we still need to keep in mind that this is the context that we're working with, and we're still going to trade the system regardless of what's happening on the super high time frame. We have a bearish daily bias so far, and the direction for today is going to be towards the bearish direction. This remains to be the bearish order block that we want to see price come into and then go down. Like, honestly, this is super straightforward. And what I will mention later is a couple of forex pairs, because we could potentially have on our hands a couple of really solid A+ setups. Now, we've already tried to catch a few today just within the VIP group, just to take advantage of the London session. Unfortunately, outside for like one win, the rest just ended up getting stopped at break even or like with small losses. We're going to try again tonight. And yeah, by the way, speaking of which, we have a live trading call with the VIP today. So if you guys want to join in, today is going to be a perfect time to join, because you join in and you're coming straight onto the call. Otherwise, we have news later on at 8:30 a.m. So that is going to be the ideal timing zone that we're going to be looking for later. Basically, the hour before to the hour after news is going to be the best times to be trading. And so essentially, you're going to look for price to come into here before 7:30 or around that 7:30 to 8 a.m. window, and then for price to start showing a 5-minute changes that delivery towards the downside, once you get back into that zone. But one thing's for sure, it's good to talk about an invalidation scenario, because it's always a good idea not to, get married to a single direction or just to get married to a single idea. In the event that we get a candle close above $71,550, there's going to be a 1 hourly, kind of changes that delivery towards the upside, which is not what we want to see as far as a short is concerned. If that happens, we're very likely going to end up with a no trade. Again, it goes back to what I always talk about. It's good to have an idea about what you think the market's going to do, but it's also really important to have the markets confirm that it wants to move in that direction before you take a trade. An opinion does not equal a trade. Now, as far as Ethereum goes, so far, I think you're looking at a very similar setup, except with Ethereum, you're coming back into a daily fair value gap. On Bitcoin, you're not coming into a daily fair value gap. So honestly, there's a little bit more reason for Ethereum to be bullish. But so far, again, we're going to be looking for a short, because overall, Bitcoin is the mama bear. If Bitcoin were to dump, everything is very likely to follow. So even though Ethereum is looking more bullish, and even though it has more strength compared to Bitcoin, we're still going to be looking for a short, primarily because, again, with crypto, the thing that makes it tough is the fact that, if Bitcoin dumps, everything kind of follows. And this is the reason why I would encourage you to never open 2 crypto trades at the same time in the same direction, because if one ends up getting stopped out, chances are you're going to end up with 2 losses. So you're essentially just taking the same trade, but twice, which is not a smart move as far as risk management is concerned. And then you have part 2 of the equation, which is, since everything is the same, then, regardless of how many charts that you look at in terms of crypto, you're basically almost going to be looking at the same chart, which is why, again, I highly encourage you guys, if you haven't already, gotten diversify into Forex, do so. The beauty about Forex pairs is that, for example, on my chart right now, you see there's Euro. Now, Euro is moving differently to the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is moving differently to gold. Gold is differently, to the Dow Jones. It's different from the Australian dollar. It's different from, Canadian. It's different from, like, all these Forex pairs are moving kind of almost independently of each other. which means that when you look at 5 different Forex pairs, or when you look at 5 different TradFi pairs, you are looking at genuinely 5 different charts. Whereas on crypto, if you look at 5 different charts, like they're all going to look the same. So you may as well be looking at the same chart, right? That's been the recurring pattern. So the moral of the story is that diversifying, or like just getting access to TradFi, is just going to open up like anywhere between 3 to 5 and potentially even 10 times the amount of trade opportunities that you would see from crypto alone. Because like with crypto, you're essentially trading one pair, especially when the market's in the downtrend, everything tends to follow Bitcoin. If you haven't already gotten into Forex, look to get into it. It is a lot less daunting. It is a lot less complicated than you think. I know the platform's going to look different. You're going to be using MetaTrader 5 instead of, Binance or Bybit, which, again, it's different, but that's also, perfectly normal. And chances are everything's going to feel really foreign to you. And yet that is how it is when you start anything new. Of course, it's going to feel foreign when you first start out. Heck, think about when you got into crypto. A lot of these things you never even knew, but as you continue to spend more time with crypto, you figured out what all of these different terms mean. Limit orders, market orders, you have P's, you have fees, you have perpetual futures, you have meme coins, you have NFTs and all this stuff. Like, you figure it out as you go. But what's important is that once you take that first step, then you allow the snowball to start building and you allow the momentum to kind of carry forward. And with Forex, like, trust me, it's a lot less complicated than you guys think. I will definitely be making a video on that really soon, especially after seeing the comments that you guys left on the previous video, where I was asking you if you would like to see a crypto bros guide to getting into Forex. So I'll definitely be doing that. Outside of that, solid win from yesterday. But now that the market conditions are back, we have Chiba over here with a 5 winning streak. Case in point, I think I got more wins this week alone compared to the entire month of February. So to the haters out there who thought that the system is broken, it's not. It's kind of like what I've been repeating for the last couple of months. Market conditions, if it's ranging, of course, the system's going to struggle. When market conditions come back, guess what? It's going to perform just as well again. Case in point, like the system has about a 75% to 80% win rate. It's only a matter of time until the numbers even out again, and we're going to start getting the wins. But otherwise, I'll see you guys tonight. And if you're on the fence about VIP, honestly, join in. You're going to make your money back in like a single trade. Just honest opinion. It's already happened for a few people, and you're getting so much more other than just making money, if you know what I mean. Cheers.